Hi guys, welcome to another tutorial of MySQL replication. So as we were doing the MySQL orchestrator tutorial in the previous one, where we discussed the architecture and how the orchestrator architecture looks like when you deploy the topology, when you deploy all the design infrastructure for orchestrator and how things are connected to each other. So in this one we are going to deploy the orchestrator for the topology we have, which is one master and two slaves, and we are going to deploy the we are going to discover the topology using the orchestrator. So what you guys need to do is that obviously we need the orchestrator, and then we need clients on each of the MySQL server, and so let's do that. For downloading the orchestrator, what you guys need to do is that just go to the Google and search MySQL orchestrator, and then click on this link, okay, this one, and you will go here, okay, then come down and click on the documentation, okay, and then click here on the download. So downloads, yeah, and then go to GitHub OpenShark orchestrator releases. So here you can see that the last one was released on 26 days ago, which is 3.2.6. so we need the for CentOS, so we need to x86 64 rpm this one, okay, and then we need a client, so we are going to get this client, okay, this client for x86, and this is the orchestrator. So we have our server here, okay, so we have app where we are going to install our orchestrator, and also our client as well here, so we can use the client as a CLI and do all the operation which are required, okay. And then we have MySQL 1, MySQL 2 and MySQL 3, which are our server which we are going to use, where we will be installing our orchestrator client as well, and these are our replication topology. So we have MySQL 1 as a master, MySQL 2 and MySQL 3 are as our slaves. You will have a better idea when we install the orchestrator, and it will give us the GUI topology. Then you will come to know that how the topology looks like. But if you want to see here, let me show you one of the MySQL show slave status. So if you see here, our application is working, and 70.10 is our master. If you see here, hostname -i, so this is our master, okay, and same is the case, the master for the MySQL 3 is the same as this one. So we have app, and obviously this is where we are going to install our orchestrator, and as I told you that we need a MySQL database as a backend as well, so we have our MySQL database running here as well. I have set the password here, so that is why it's not asking for the password. So this is my password for the MySQL 1, and so this is the basic things which we require. So talking about the prereqs which we need, the first thing is that you must have either have the DNS or through which you can resolve your IPs like hostname and all that, but sorry, I have all the entries in my host, okay, and if you are using the Vagrant machines I provided, I've also told you that how you can put these entries by using the Vagrant hostname manager in my lab, which is called labs about lab. You can check that. So I have all the entries on each server, like MySQL 1 and MySQL 2 and 3. You can confirm that as well, so you must have these, okay. So these are the things which are required on the server level. And one more thing which I did is that in case if your MySQL server the orchestrator use the, obviously we have to access the orchestrator using the web GUI, okay, and that GUI runs on the port 3 tetra 000, okay, so which means 3000, so it runs on a port 3000. So what I did is that I have my Vagrant file, okay, let me show you here. ls more background file. So what I did is that I did the port forwarding. Okay, so I can use my local host, okay, which is my Windows machine, the system I'm using, and I can access on the local host using this port. Okay, I can also access using the IP of the app server host name. Okay, and then I will use this and colon 3000. Okay, but in case let's say it's not working for you, then you can use this you will be using port 2000 on, obviously you will be doing this on your web browser. Okay, localhost colon 2000. So this is what on the host the OS level things which I did. Now let's now go back to the browser. Okay, and install, and obviously I told you which things you need, so I already copied the command, the links, and now I will install the orchestrator only on the app server, and then I will install the clients on all of the server. So okay, so now we will download this ls and I will install it. Okay, so to install it I need to orchestrator okay, and 3.6. so now that is done. It's only orchestrator is installed, but you are not going to what do you say, you will not be starting the orchestrator, because before doing that we need to do a lot of configuration. So we will start the orchestrator but later on. Okay, now install the download the the RPM for the client as well. Okay, and then we will install it on the same server. So let's do this on all of the server. We are installing the client on all server and orchestrator on only app server. Okay, so let me download the RPM on all server, and then we will use the then we will install the RPM on all server as well. So first download, then install. So here it's downloaded, here now installed, here it's also installed, here is also installed. Okay, so these were the things which we needed to do, okay, for the installation of the orchestrator. What next we need to do is that obviously I told you from the design, okay, that we need the configuration file. Okay, so this is where our configuration file resides when you install our orchestrator. So it's already available here, but we will have to copy it to /etc. okay, because orchestrator try to check it here on this location first. Okay, let me check this because I was doing some test and I think it's already there. Yeah, so it is a fresh one. So I think cd/etc ll orchestrator. Okay, so we have only one file, the previous one got deleted. Okay, it's clear. So what I did is that I just copied this sample file, okay, and I renamed it as orchestrator config.json. okay, so this is the configuration file from where orchestrator will take all the which user is going to use for the backend, which user is going to use for the topology, and how it's going to discover the its master, what is the slave and all that, and how it's going to discover the host names, and there are a lot of settings which we are going to do. Okay, but before going to that, obviously we need a backend database, and for that we need to create a backend database for the orchestrator. So let's go to the app server. Okay, and here I'm going to create this database called orchestrator, and obviously we need a user which needs to be created here. Okay, so if you are using 5.7, so you will have to do the flush privileges. So I'm creating the orchestrator at localhost because this user be only connected to the backend database from, so that's localhost is enough. So that is okay. So this is the password. Okay, we are going to use this password. Okay, so next we need is that we need to provide the alias name to store it. Okay, and we will create a metadata database for on the master, okay, which is our MySQL one. We will go there and create a meta database, and then here we will create one table, and we will insert one record, and that will be called as test cluster. So this will be the use name which will be used for our topology. We will say that our master and a to slave is called as test cluster. Okay, so you can name whatever you want to name, and any example.com, it is going to be your data center. You can say that uk.com or anywhere where whatever it is you want to use. Okay, so let's say if you want to like select static from, so these are the record we have, and cluster, this is a domain and your cluster name. Okay, and if you want to go for the another record, then you will do for 2 and another name and all that. So because with one orchestrator you can have multiple topology, so multiple cluster you can have, so orchestrator calls them as a cluster. So you have master and a to slave, so that has become as a one my replication cluster, and we call it as a test cluster. So don't get confused with that, it's just a name which we want to call our topology. Okay, so next we have is that obviously we need a topology user, okay, which the orchestrator will try to use it to connect to the master, and it will use it for discovery of the master and all the slave. So this is the user we created, and obviously we need to provide some grants. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, all these grants are available inside the file which I'm using, and you guys can do it the same way which I'm doing. So it's required super process replication slave. Obviously is need to when it's doing the failover and all that, it has to like access the replication slave and all that, and it is used to access the sudo id and is going to create this by himself. Okay, don't worry. And this is the MySQL slave master info. It requires all the information from there and all the records in the meta.static which we created here, this database. Okay, and flush privileges. So these are at the database level. Okay, so now let's go back to the app server where we installed our orchestrator. Okay, and here let's go here. Okay, and we need to edit our orchestrator file configuration file. So go to etc orchestrator. Okay, and escape I, and we need to change the topology user. Okay, so the topology user we created, this is the user we created on the master. Okay, on the replication master. So this is our user orchestrator, and we will paste it here, and then we need to provide the password for this. So this is all obviously the topology user, so the password was org topology. So that's it, we are done here. Now let's go, and we need to change our backend database user which we created on our app server. So that was obviously the same orchestrator user but with different password. You can create same user and same password, so you don't get confused with this one. So I know what I'm doing, so that is why I am going with a different password, and just to differentiate for you as well, I'm going with a different password. Okay, so next we guys need to do is that we need to change the host name resolve method here. Okay, and I just came here, and I will change this guy to report host name. Okay, we are going to have some changes on the MySQL level as well in the configuration file. So just before doing that, I'm just changing this configuration as well. Okay, so this is done, and now we need to do few more changes which are our cluster alias queries. Okay, through which it is going to discover our cluster alias. So that is here. Yeah, these are the queries. This is something which I need to replace. Okay, and this one as well. Okay, so that is done. And one more thing I need to do is that data center pattern. Okay, this is what I need to change. Okay, so my data center pattern will be like MySQL and then whatever it next. So okay, and one more thing I need to do is that I need to add the sudo gtid. Okay, so let's add it here. I want to add it escape and yeah, here id pattern, and let's do it here. I will put it here. Okay, that's it. There are no more changes which are required in the configuration file, this configuration file. Okay, orchestrator.json. So that's it. Now next what we need to do is that we need to visit all our MySQL servers, and there are some requirements which we need to do. So let's go to MySQL server, and okay, so on the master there are a few things which we need to change. Report host name, we need to provide the IP of this MySQL 1, and we need to stop this event scheduler because we are not using any events in this. And in case you are using any events, then you should not do this, but when you are doing the failover and all that, you have to manually check the events if the events are required to be enabled on the master or not, because this thing is not handled by the orchestrator till now, but you have to take care of this manually. But the good thing is that you should remove the events from the MySQL database and use them in a cron jobs or something like that. From like you should take the events from outside the database though. So these should be handled, whatever work the events are doing in your database, that should be handled outside the database. And if you are using 5.7, these will be not be equal to table, so you need to change them to table because you will have file here. So these are also required to change. And skip name resolve, you will have to do this as well, and the rest are okay, these are fine. If it should be like this, if you are not using parallel workers and you are not doing the slave preserve commit order, obviously these two are related to the parallel replication. And if you are not using gtid, that's it, it's okay. But if we are not using the gtid, so that is why we added a pseudo id thing inside our replication in this file. Okay, so that's it. Okay, so we need to change this. So let's go to our configuration file /etc, and remember till now we haven't started our orchestrator, and we are not going to do it until unless we do all the changes. Okay, so you will have all these changes what I am doing in the file in the resource section, and you will get it from there. So the IP of the MySQL 1 is this, and I will stop this and skip name resolve as well. As the rest of the two, this and this is dynamic, but this is not dynamic, it requires a restart. So I will do it in one go and do restart the MySQL. Obviously it requires a downtime, so you will have to take care of the downtime when you are doing this. Okay, so let's restart MySQL. Okay, so until that is going to do the restart, we will go to the MySQL 2. Okay, and we will check for a different. So this is a different query a bit because it has two more variable, which is read only and super read only. So for MySQL I don't have them set to read only, and super read only is not set, so we will have to set this as well. And report host, and obviously scheduler to off, and skip name resolve to on. Okay, so let's do these changes as well, and then we will restart. So I'm copying it from the file which I am using in the backside, but I will provide this file and you can do everything whatever I am doing here. So my.cnf, go here and escape I, insert and paste. So these are the changes which I am doing. Read only and super read only on the slave. Okay, so read only and super read only should be on the slave only. And then systemctl restart MySQL. Yeah, so now our MySQL is back on the master one. So let's go there and recheck if the things we wanted to have are here or not. So if you see here, we have the report host name as well, and scheduler is off, and skip name is always equal to 1 now. So that's it, that's what we wanted. And let's go to our slave MySQL 2 and check what happened here. So if you see here, we have a report host which is wrong. We need to, it should be like 20. I think I copied the wrong one. Yes, it should be 20. So I will correct this in the file, and let me edit the file again, and then I will restart. Okay, so let's go to MySQL 3, and we need to edit there as well. So I already know what are the changes required. Okay, escape I, and let me copy this. So report host 30, escape name is all, even scheduler is off, and read only mode is on, super read only mode also on. So systemctl restart MySQL. Okay, so let's go to the MySQL 2 and check the changes. So now it's 20. Okay, if you see here, host name minus I is 20. So IP is fine, scheduler is off, and resolve name is on 1, and read only and super read only is on. So now let's go to the MySQL 1 and check here. Let's execute this command, MySQL 3, sorry, and C is 30, scheduler is off, and okay, this is fine. Okay, this is the wrong command, sorry. I need to use this command because it was not showing me, yeah, the read only and super read only. So this is also fine. So now this is everything which was required for the MySQL. Okay, now we can go and start our orchestrator. So what I am going to do is here is that on one of the server, clear, I will open the log file. So this is how you will open the live file using the general ctl command. Okay, so this is the previous log, but now I will start a fresh one, and you will come to know that what we are doing. Okay, if things are not okay, our orchestrator will not start. Okay, so let's see if everything is fine or not. So orchestrator has been started, and let's check the status here. So it's running. So this means it is able to at least connect the orchestrator backend database, otherwise it's not going to connect. And if you see here, it is running on the info http started on 3000. Okay, and if you see here, backend connected to 3306, and everything is fine. So this is how orchestrator is working now. If you see the logs as well, it will tell you that what is happening, and it's thing are working fine. Okay, and there is nothing is wrong here. So now what we need to do is that we will go to the orchestrator again, and we will need to discover our orchestrator. Okay, sorry, our topology. So for that, the command is orchestrator client minus C command. We will saying it discover minus I instance, and we will provide the master IP and the port. Okay, but before that, let me take you to the browser, and we will open the orchestrator GUI. Okay, now it's running. So if you go here, as I told you, you can open localhost and 2000. Okay, because the GUI I'm using is the IP, the port I selected for the port forwarding in my backend file, that was 2000. Okay, but still, if you see here, you can also connect this using the master IP. The app IP. The app IP was, if you see here, come here, and the IP is host name minus I. So you can use this IP as well. Okay, and you can open the GUI. Okay, let's see, let's go here. Where's the browser? Yes. Okay, and colon 3000. So it will also work, but if it is not working, then what you guys need to do is that you will have to open this cluster using this. So there are two things you can do is that discover, go to cluster and discover, and from here you can provide the IP of your master, and submit, and it will discover it. But I like to do it using the command line. So you will go to your app server, okay, and use this command. Okay, so what is this? This is the IP of my master server and the colon the port, so it will add. Okay, so now if you see here, it has been added, and if you go to the log, it will say that okay, get started, get API discover this one, and it has been added. So if you see here, resolve, okay, cache host name resolve as, so this is the master server, and this is one of the replica, and this is the another replica. So now if you go to the browser, you will see here, let's go to the cluster and dashboards, and here if you click on the test cluster, this is the test cluster which I told you that it has been mentioned inside our metadata. So if you see here, this is 10 is my master, 20 is another replica, and 30 is another replica. So that is how you can do it. And if you want to discover from the command line, like how is your topology, then the command is for that is that this is the command which I will show you. So from the app server, you say that client see topology, and your cluster alias is test cluster. So it will show you that one, this is the master, and the other two are the slaves, and 0 second, okay, everything is fine. Version this you see here, it is read write, and the other two are read only. So that's it for now. This is how you can discover your topology and how you can install the orchestrator. So I hope so guys, you have learned something from this one, and I hope you liked it, and what else we can do with the orchestrator, I will mention these in the upcoming tutorial of this course. Thank you so much.